If you had to decipher between emotional incest, emotional extortion, and the dark empath parent, would you be able to do it? It's really hard to decipher those things. And there's so many words in the field of psychology that, it really takes a lot of studying to understand what it is that's sitting right in front of you. Maybe this is a parent, which is what this video is about. And it's really hard for you to understand why your parent would do certain things to you, why your parent would allow certain things to happen to you. So in today's video, I'm going to highlight some potential reasons why. And then I'm going to also pull together how emotional extortion, the emotional incest, and the dark empath parent can all destroy you. But before I get started, let me just introduce myself in case you are new. My name is Tamara. I'm internationally and I'm board certified in trauma therapy. I'm licensed in mental health. I specialize in treating children, teens, and families, as well as adults who are dealing with trauma right in my private practice. Let's go ahead and jump in. Anytime I talk about parents who, engage in behaviors that can really harm you growing up, it's really difficult for me to conceptualize some of these concepts myself. And I've been in the field of psychology for 14 years, but it's never easy to understand a parent who engages in what is called emotional incest. Now, in this video that I recently did, which you can go check it out, at the end of this video, I'm going to post it at the end, I really did highlight what this looks like, right? What is emotional incest? What does this look like? What's going on here, right? And as you kind of listen to where I'm going in that video, it becomes obvious that you become the adult. In any kind of situation with a parent where there is emotional incest, you're going to also be the adult. You're probably going to be the parentified child, meaning that you're probably going to be that child who's going to parent your siblings. Somebody has to fill the shoes, and that will be you. A parent who engages in emotional incest often relies on you for emotional and psychological support. They need reassurance that they are a good parent to you. They have no power differential with you, meaning you guys are like this, you're equals, right? They're not here as your experienced, loving, strong, wise parent, right? They're down here with you wanting to do everything that you do, right? Running to be your friend so much that they're not the parent. They are also overly reliant upon you emotionally and psychologically. They may also treat you as the surrogate husband or the surrogate wife. They may also treat you as the second adult in the family. Emotional incest can really be difficult to manage because you lose your childhood. That's how I want you to think of this. You lose your childhood. Now, emotional extortion is just a little bit different, but it's different in the sense that the parent is not really relying on you emotionally, right? They're not relying on you psychologically. What they are doing is creating a situation where you feel blackmailed. So emotional extortion can be this. I'm telling you that you and your brother have a different father, but I don't want you to tell your brother. This information is only for you, and you're not allowed to tell your brother that you guys have different fathers. And if you do, I'm going to have to tell your brother A, B, and C, right? Or I'm going to have to stop paying for your mortgage. Or I'm going to have to start, taking you out of the activities that you like to engage in. Emotional blackmail, emotional extortion, it's the process by which somebody kind of dangles something in front of your eyes, right? And, they kind of make it unachievable, or, they threaten you so that you're afraid to make a move because that's their power over you. Emotional blackmail is something that really can sink you emotionally and psychologically when it's your parent who's using it, right? Because we see our parents as being loving. Most people in society see parents as being loving, right? But when that parent is not a good parent, they are immature, they are unintentionally maybe abusive, they are narcissistic, they are sociopathic, whatever the issue may be, right? They use emotional extortion to control you. The dark empath. You can go to this video right here at the end of the video to watch my video on the dark empath. I explained it all there for you. So I'm not going to explain that in today's video, but what I will say is that an individual, a parent with dark empath traits, tends to be narcissistic and sociopathic at the same time. They tend to show what we call cognitive empathy, not emotional empathy, cognitive. And what that means is that this particular dark empath parent doesn't emotionally understand what's happening to you, but they can cognitively understand what's happening to you. It's all intellectual, but emotionally, they can't connect to you. These kind of parents can also be pretty kind. They can come across as kind, loving people. They can also be charitable. But watch out, because they have a dark side. They have an evil side, right? They have a vindictive side. They may even engage in emotional extortion, emotional blackmail of you, right? So these kind of parents are tricky because, again, they have narcissistic traits. They have sociopathic traits. There's Machiavellianism in there. There's a lot of different things in the dark empath parent. Keep that in mind. You want to kind of consider dark empath parents to be kind of like red light, green light. Red light, green light, right? Red light of a parent means don't push their buttons, let them go. Green light means they're nice people today. So maybe you can get some favors. Maybe you can get a little bit of love. Maybe you can get some support, right? Red light, nope, no support. Don't ask for a loan. Don't ask for help. Don't look for love. The list goes on, right? They are red light, green light, off and on, up and down, labile kind of parent. So what happens to create this kind of parent, right? That's probably what you're thinking. What happens to create this kind of parent? Well, let me just say that there's probably, some kind of poor parental style, poor communication style that is intergenerational, right? It started way over there, way back then, and it has followed every generation until it's gotten to you. So there's a poorly constructed parenting style and poor communication and quality and quantity. I talk about that all the time on this channel. Quality of communication means you don't get a lot of depth to the conversation, right? It's shallow, right? Or maybe there is a lot of depth and it's not shallow. Quantity means how often you talk to this particular parent, right? It may be something that's non-existent in your relationship. Emotionally immature and selfish, egotistical, egocentric parents can also fit this category. Now, maybe your parent is the product of an emotionally immature and detached parent, right? If you have a parent who is a dark empath, they emotionally blackmail you, and maybe there's some emotional incest as well that's in the dynamic, you can almost count on it that their own parents were inadequate, right? So they have never had an example modeled to them of how a parent should be. So they may be very emotionally immature and psychologically immature as well. These kind of parents also tend to be the product of very cold and callous and selfish narcissistic parents themselves, right? They also struggle with emotional connection with you. So you may feel this detachment from your parent emotionally and psychologically because they're just not there. It doesn't always mean that they don't want to, right? They don't want to be connected. It doesn't always mean that. Sometimes it's the simple fact that they can't be connected. They have absolutely no clue what to do to be a parent. And it's because they never had that example. They never had that emotional connection with their own parents. They never had that experience of what a healthy attachment is to somebody else. And so because of that, right, they parent you in a way that's not okay. Consider and keep in mind that these kind of parents also come from a very fractured, fragmented family dynamic. They have not come from a family dynamic that is healthy, well-rounded, right? They have come from a disaster of a family. And research does support and suggest that these kind of parents do not have supportive families. They just don't. They tend to be lost children or scapegoats, or kids who have been violated sexually, emotionally, psychologically. There's been physical abuse. Maybe they've witnessed trauma. Maybe there's some undetected mental illness. These kind of parents emerge, right? A parent like the one I'm talking about in this video, they tend to emerge from those kind of chaotic childhoods. That's just how it is, and that's the sad part. It's not all of them, it's not everybody, but a small proportion of them do. These kind of parents may also appear to have developed or acquired this learned helplessness, right? And so if you're under a parent like this, who has learned to be helpless, there's not a lot of motivation. There's not a lot of encouragement. There's not a lot of hope, right? So then you become depressed. That parent stays depressed and you become depressed. And then here's the emotional incest. They lean on you, right? And so now you have to be the parent to the siblings, and now you have to go grocery shopping. Now you have to pay the bills. Now you have to get a job, right? And so this is the dynamic, right? This is a what we would call a cyclic dynamic. You also want to consider that, with parents like this, you're likely going to be put in a position where you're going to have to step up at all times. It may start off slow, where you step up every now and then it may take off where you step up all the time, And so, kind of looking at yourself as if you're looking in on yourself, right? Like an out-of-body experience. Look at yourself and ask yourself, did I become the adult when I realized that my parent needed some help? Did I step up and become the adult? Did I step up and become the parent when something bad would happen or something would happen where I felt the need I needed to step in? So you can kind of measure where you're at, right, to determine what kind of a parent you had. These kind of parents kind of have the attitude that anything and everything goes. There's no boundaries, there's no class, there's no knowledge, there's no sophistication, there's no conservativeness, no, everything goes, anything goes, right? So you may have grown up in a house and a home environment where anything goes. There was teenage pregnancy, there was early sexual experiences, there was pornography being viewed, there was friends come over and stay over all the time, there was the front door was always open for any dog, cat, or person to come in. You never felt secured in your home and your family, and you never felt safety from your parent. All of these things that you may have dealt with is basically proof that your parent is ill-equipped. And unfortunately, there are some parents who are very ill-equipped, and they do fit this description. That's the sad part about it, that this is just not some made-up thing psychology came up with. This is real life, and it is sad. It is so sad of a reality for innocent children who come into the world, right? And if this is you, you understand all too well. Okay. Let's also not forget jealousy and envy. This is something that can happen with parents like this. They have dark empath traits, right? So narcissistic, sociopathic, egocentric, likely, a bad combination for a really good compassionate parent, right? So you're going to probably have some jealousy from that parent and some envy. If you want to learn a little bit more about parental jealousy and family jealousy, click this one right here for parental jealousy and click this one right here for parental jealousy. You can learn a little bit about that dynamic. I'll be coming back with more on this topic soon, so stay tuned, okay? And if you want to learn a little bit more about emotional incest, try my video that I did right here 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where I really break down what emotional incest is. Thank you so much for being with me in today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.